So I've been thinking a lot, and I think what's really getting to me again about um, victims, abuse, trafficking, especially human trafficking, and this kakistocracy. What's getting to me is that even in moments where we are finally seeing once and for all the mask is off, these are literally the most horrible human beings that you could possibly nightmare up. You can't think these up. These people are nightmares in reality. They literally are so bored and so wealthy that they torture human beings for pleasure. They use children to make them happy. You can't trust these people. We said that. You guys said, "Oh, don't be ridiculous." We said you can't trust them. Don't be ridiculous. You're overreacting. No, we didn't overreact. On top of them being traffickers and scummy, amoral, unethical people who work in transactional terms, they only care about what can you do for me in order to get them to do something for others. And because of that transactional nature, they dehumanize. And that's what has really bothered me the most of all things is the dehumanization of everyone that disagrees with this kakistocracy. And they revel in it. They revel in it. They love to dehumanize, to strip every bit of our humanity so long as we disagree with them. If we agree with them, suddenly we're human again. We deserve dignity and respect. But the moment we disagree with them and we tell them, no, this guy is dangerous, he is going to get a lot of people killed, he's going to get a lot of people hurt, and he doesn't care because as long as his family and his pocketbooks are fattened and his ego is pumped up by a bunch of opportunistic, amoral, unethical world leaders, um, yeah, we're going to continue to see him rule. Um, his cabinet is the biggest junk drawer of enablers, con men, and grifters in the history of the United States. The HHS secretary is going to and has gotten people killed. I don't know what to tell you guys anymore. He is a clear and present danger to public health in the United States. He's a clear and present danger to public health in the world. Bubonic Bobby Jr. has killed people and will kill again by disinforming mass groups of people. And everybody's like, oh, we can't trust doctors. Why? You're dehumanizing us. You're taking away our dignity. You're taking away our ability to that we have experience and we've sacrificed our lives and our families and everything to be experts in our fields, and you're dehumanizing us with one phrase. Oh, you can't trust doctors because Bubonic Bobby Jr. says so. I got news for you. If you don't trust doctors, then don't go see doctors. Don't waste our time. Patch it up at home. Go back to the dark ages when you didn't have doctors helping you. You didn't have anybody to save your life. You just died because that's what used to happen. People just died. So stop dehumanizing. Please, for the love of God, stop dehumanizing everything and everyone. And this is mostly the people that voted for this kakistocracy, but it is also among people who did not. The people who just stand by and say, yeah, everybody FAFO'd. You get what you voted for. Unfortunately, we're all getting what somebody else voted for, but we all suffer the consequences. We're just, more than half of us are mad about what was voted for. The cruelty, the manipulation, the lies. And then now we know that Epstein was a spy. He was an agent, a double agent maybe, but he was in the business of selling information and brokering influence. And he did this by appealing to the basest nature of these amoral, unethical, terrible people who were willing, for their pleasure, to exploit children, and worse, ignore how bad it is. So, you guys voted for it, we all suffer the consequences. But now you know that Epstein was a treasonous, traitorous, slime ball, behind the scenes directing terrible deals between amoral, unethical people, billionaires, leaders, sociopaths, psychopaths, malignant narcissists, and he knew the worst person of all was dumpers. Donald J. Trump was the worst. He said it in the email. This is the worst person of all that I've ever met. Absolutely worst. And this is coming from a guy who is one of the worst human beings to ever exist. So, if you want to dehumanize the billionaires, because they've dehumanized billions of us. There's only hundreds of billionaires, but there's billions of us. There's hundreds of thousands of doctors, and somehow we're all wrong, but a lawyer who's been suing people for a living and taking advantage of people's fear and distrust is right? Okay, got it. Keep dehumanizing doctors. We will snap. In fact, I think a lot of us already have snapped. A lot of us have retired, have left, and we can't replace the people who are leaving, and we can't replace their experience and knowledge either. So today, Congress did the right thing. It was near unanimous that they said, yeah, we need to release these files. Because regardless, there's going to be bad guys that are Republicans, bad guys that are Democrats, and bad guys that are billionaires on that list. And everybody deserves to know, but especially the victims. They deserve to know who victimized them, who enabled this, and how are we going to systematically dismantle it. It'll get vetoed, perhaps, and it may struggle to pass the Senate. Senators are not easily swayed by ethics and morals anymore. They pretend to care. Bill Cassidy in particular pretends to care that he screwed up and he was one of the deciding votes for RFK, bubonic Bobby Jr. being the HHS secretary, and now he's seeing him dismantle our public health system, dismantle the trust in vaccines even more. And he's like, wait a minute. I'm like, you voted for this, dude. You caused this. You take responsibility. You get the Senate together and impeach him. Then we can talk. But until then, stop saying, hey, this is terrible. You voted for it. You and all your buddies, party line, voted to confirm bubonic Bobby Jr., the scourge of public health. So I'm so mad that people voted for this, and I'm so mad that everybody's going to make excuses as the information continues to pour out, and it just is more treasonous and more heinous and more amoral and unethical and more sociopathic, more psychopathic, more disgusting than we could possibly imagine. It's worse, and it is traumatic for an empathetic, person like me to sit here and know the victims aren't getting justice yet. We're just touching the tip of the iceberg here. There is so much bad stuff. It's just going to get worse. So hang on tight, everybody. I had to talk about this because I feel like on here I'm dehumanized in the comments. On Instagram I'm dehumanized by comments. Sometimes by people that would normally agree with me. They dehumanize me because I'm a physician and they assume I'm part of this big conspiracy. I know I'm dehumanized by conservatives. I'm dehumanized by my own partner, by some of the people I work with, because they don't think that I'm right and they think I'm overreacting. So I'm tough. I can deal with it, but the dehumanization of hundreds of millions of people in America is really, really despicable, and probably the worst part, even worse than Dumpers, because he's just a toddler. He's a man-child that he knows better, but he has the disposition of a toddler. Tantrums, calling names. It's just, I have to expect that. But the people that were like, oh, don't be ridiculous. Don't stop overreacting. I didn't overreact. It was worse than I could have possibly imagined.